So let me just address my so-called conscious and conscience um, audience of people, or the conscious, so-called conscious community. Now I love y'all, and I'm glad that this world has opened up. But the reason why I don't consider myself conscious or conscience, and why every time you see me speak about it, it's always in quotation marks. Because here's my thing. Although I'm big, very big on my history, and I stress its importance, but I also stress the fact that it's needed today, that it's very relevant, because there's no point in studying your history if you can't apply it to today. I mean, if you don't want to recognize the history and see the correlation of how it can be used today for its purposes, then there's really no point in you going back. Now, for the people who are aware of these things, and you understand it's manifested with you, you know that there are lies in the system, you know all of that, and at the end of the day, we're tired of being oppressed, right? The whole notion of you being conscious or whatever is to understand that the world has manipulated, or has been manipulated, by the powers that be, which I say is white people and black people who have sold out to, be on board or try to find a place with white people. That's just my opinion on it, though. Everyone doesn't have to agree. That's fine. I don't really care. We understand that religion has been used as another form of oppressing us and suppressing us, and now we continue to regress. Okay. But at the same time, we've got to understand that black people actually do have power. Like, we do have power. We do have the capabilities to be what once was, or to renew what was at some point. We understand that religion's been manipulated. No matter what religion it is, I don't care what it is. Personally, I don't care what it is. It's been manipulated. It's been infiltrated. It's been restructured, and its founding principles are completely lost. Point blank in a period. So my question is to the conscious community: if you understand all these things and you are knowledgeable of it, then the point of arguing with each other doesn't matter. There's no point in arguing. Granted, we can have healthy debates back and forth, but my question is, instead of us sitting on Facebook, like finger bullying each other and thumb popping, we texting and, we putting in these comments and stuff like that, just being real aggressive towards each other, where's the growth in that? Now, if you are conscious, you should also want to be about the forward movement of black people. Point blank in the period. If you are conscious and you really understand what history is about, you don't have to know, because I know, for me, I don't know every little in-between detail about history. I don't. I just became conscious, quote unquote, but I don't need to know every piece of information to know that, well, shit, there's only two. Granted, there's only one universal race of people, which is the human race, but there are still, you have whites and you have non-whites. At the end of the day, my version of black, as long as you got any type of pigment, your skin complexion looks anything like mine or people like mine, then you are black. I don't care about your ethnicity, meaning whether you are Asian, South American, Pacific Islander, Caribbean, Puerto Rican. When you've got melanin in your skin, you are black in my eyes. Every country around this globe has adopted this system of racism. Okay? To where, granted, all ethnicities do not think this way. They don't think this way. But that's still what it is. Because at the end of the day, melanin is what colored people have. Melanin is what created our pigment. And at the end of the day, I can't sit up here and say that a Malaysian isn't a black person, because at the end of the day, their skin complexion looks like mine. So how are they not black? How are they not black? I mean, at the end of the day, granted, you may not be a black American, but you're black. Because just because we don't call you a black Asian does not mean you're not black. And at the end of the day, if you want to argue back and forth or whatever, like I said, have a healthy debate. But you should want to be about the forward advancements, to where, therefore, if you got to keep on if you want to complain about the white people or whatever, you're using their social media. Okay. So what you got to do is strategize. Okay. Now, we as black people, we're using Facebook. Okay. Right now, there's no way to get away from this dollar by the white man or by the powers that be. But in the meantime, since everybody is so conscious or whatever, at the end of the day, the only way to make some type of progress is to go by the numbers. We're not good if we're still divided, even in the so-called conscious state of mind, if that makes any sense. It makes no sense for you and I both to be so-called conscious, yet all we do is want to argue back and forth about what we know to be true and what you know to be true. At the end of the day, you're just supposed to shed light to one another about what it is, and then you come together and you put something else out there for the next person. Because there are too many people who actually want to know these things and want to move forward and want to better ourselves, to focus on people who don't get that. And these are still people who are looking for other people. So you don't have to just sit back and wait on me to make a Facebook status, me to make a video. You should be wanting to do that yourself. Now, if you're somebody who's looking for fame, you're somebody who's looking for fortune, at the end of the day, whose dollar is that? So what sense does it make for us to be making these videos to become popular? But we talk about we don't want the white man's money. But by making these videos, by becoming popular, you then move into a different realm because they didn't see, this person or that person gets numbers. And at the end of the day, you're going to be back surrounded by people who don't understand your mind frame. That's going to mess everything that you claim to be. Is going to set you back, because most people will fall into the hype of being number one and being on top and having people who just love them, you know what I'm saying, all day long, which is why I always be like, man, I don't know why y'all asses are following me. Like, it's not that I don't necessarily like it or whatever, but for other people, it may be attention seeking and stuff. For me, it's not, because I just feel like at the end of the day, this shit don't put money in my pockets. And in order for this to put money in my pockets, I gotta go sign a contract to do all this goofy stuff. I'm not gonna have anybody around me but other coon ass mentalities who don't get it. You know, I can't be but so effective in order to keep this money, because the more you talk, the more spotlight comes on you. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, it becomes dangerous. And it's more so dangerous by your own people. But it wouldn't be that dangerous if we had more people doing this, who understood this, who could actually use this for the resource that it could be.